Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday afternoon edition of the Offside Zone. We got to catch you up on league action. I can't believe we haven't done it, but here we go. Starting with Saturday, October 6th, the West Virginia Mountaineers took on Syracuse at Syracuse and come out with a win, 69-30. As you can see there, the Mountaineers led 33-9 at halftime. Excuse me. 43-9 at halftime. Learn how to do math, flathead. Moving on to the player stats for that. Well, you know what? We're just going to cover the season stats. Moving right along. Wake Forest. That game is getting published as we speak on YouTube right now. This is an extension of Offside Zone 10. Just let me say that. So this one will be labeled Offside Zone 10. We will have a question and answer session with the coach, Elijah Deuce, posting as part of the pre-Offside Zone 10 at some point. Saturday, October 13th, Wake Forest. I got to call that game live and in person. West Virginia Mountaineers take the win 100-10. And week 8 against BYU. They were home against them Monday, October 22nd. Win 56-6. And week 9 to close out West Virginia's schedule. They were home against Virginia Tech, as you see there. The win column for Coach Elijah Deuce yet again, 85-42. Moving on to Stanford. The Stanford Cardinal. Here we go. Picking up in week 6. Saturday, October 6th. Penn State, the former program, the Nittany Lions, he has to go. Coach Garner has to go to his previous home in Nittany Nation. And boy, did he rock into a raucous crowd at Penn State. And I got to tell you, it was awesome to have this game at Stanford. Boy, what a build up there, huh? Anyhow, no. Penn State came to Stanford. It would have been a great storyline if we could have said Coach Garner went to his hometown. But no, his hometown came to see him at the Stanford Cardinal. And what a showing of perseverance, drive, grit, and determination by the Stanford Cardinal. The team, the program, the coach came out on top, 51-32. And just to show that Coach Gardner is not a program coach, he is a coach of the program. Takes care of Penn State 51-32. We got post-game remarks coming up on that here in just a minute in the show. Week 7, Saturday, October 13th versus Colorado. He takes the win, sitting there at 7-0, 52-20 in a Pac-12 competition. Stanford takes the win. They hit the bye week on week 8, and they have a week 9 opponent Saturday, October 27th at 7 p.m. They take on Arizona in a Pac-12 tilt. Moving on up the line to none other than Mr. Marty Shermer himself. The Baylor Bears sitting at 6-2. They were 0-1 when he took over the program. He lost his first game in Ole Miss. Man hasn't looked back since. Taken up in week 6 in the Honey Bear Bowl, the first ever Honey Bear Bowl. The Baylor Bears come out in their green numbers, yellow uniforms, and chrome yellow helmets. They looked awesome on the field. Took care of BYU 42-9. Marty Shermer proud of the squad after that. Post game coming up Saturday, October 13th versus SMU. They take the win 35-14. Week 9, Arkansas State. We have news on them coming up too. The NCAA has levied some decisions. Saturday, October 27th versus Arkansas State. Ever since the fallout from Shark Davis, that club sitting at 2-7 and 1-6 in the conference, respectively, and took an L to the Baylor Bears and Marty Shermer and his club took a bludgeon to the tune of Trevante Mallard and James Hearns. The Baylor Bears come out on top, 58-10. They have a game coming up at Colorado. The Colorado Buffs, 8 p.m. Saturday, November 3rd for Week 10. Now, moving on to some of these post-game press conferences. Let's go. We're picking up with the Stanford Cardinal Penn State game, where Penn State comes into the Stanford Cardinal, and I got to tell you what, head coach Garner took out and put out a showing. Palo Alto, California, in a game filled with storylines and history. The Stanford Cardinal delivered their most defining performance of the season, upsetting number 12 Penn State 51-32 at Cardinal Stadium on Saturday night. With a victory, Stanford improved to 6-0, becoming officially bowl eligible under head coach Jeremy Garner, who faced his former team for the first time since taking over the Cardinal program. The weekend was about more than just football. On Friday evening, Stanford Athletics hosted Penn State for a welcome dinner on campus, highlighting the respect and camaraderie between the two programs. But when the lights came on at Cardinal Stadium, it was all business. From the opening drive, Stanford established its physical identity. Running back Devon LaFleur turned into a once-in-a-generation performance, setting a new program record, rushing for 340 yards while adding 142 yards receiving through the air with a total of 5 touchdowns. His dominance fueled an offense that rolled out more than 600 yards against the Nittany Lions defense ranked among the nation's best. What a game plan put forth by head coach Garner. LaFleur's effort earned him the game ball presented in the locker room post-game to a thunderous cheers from his teammates. Devon, or Devin, is kind of player you dream about as a coach. Explosive, relentless, and unselfish, Garner said. But this win was about the entire team. To see our guys execute the way they did against a top 15 opponent says a lot about where Stanford football is headed. The upset over Penn State is not only cements Garner's growing legacy at Stanford, but also propels the Cardinal into postseason conversation. It absolutely does, Coach. Bowl eligibility was about a milestone that many doubted would come this season, but now Saturday's results silence those doubts in emphatic fashion and put the scope forward to bigger and brighter goals. Stanford now looks ahead to the remainder of the Pac-12 to play renewed confidence, carrying a momentum of one of the biggest wins in recent program history. Penn State will always hold a meaningful place in my journey. Coaching there gave me memories, friendships, and lessons that I'll carry with me for a lifetime. It was truly special to see so many familiar faces. Welcome on the sidelines. Welcome to the Cardinal Stadium for the first time. This weekend created memories I'll never forget, and I wish Penn State nothing but the best moving forward. Garner finished with a smirk on his face and added, deep roots, strong future. So, moving on to the next post-game presser, we got head coach Elijah Deuce. Hey everyone, Diane brought it to my attention that the tech guys didn't have the proper equipment and my post-game presser wasn't live from Syracuse. We will be covering the homecoming game we just played, and I cannot wait for that to break live, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube. Hopefully everyone got to listen to Flathead's coverage on ESPN2. That is what I'm trying to get out there on YouTube right now. That guy is really becoming big time. Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate the nod right here. Had to buy a bobblehead off of eBay. Couldn't even send me one. Coach, come on. I would have sent you a bobblehead any day. Any day I would have done this. I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about it. Everyone sees the score from tonight's game, so we won't talk about that. Psst, little secret, it was 100-10. Anyways, Julian went 33 for 41 for 769 yards and 11 scores. Talk about big time. That kid keeps proving he should be in the Heisman conversation and in the conversation for the first overall pick. Isaac Clemon didn't break the century mark, but he did have 7 carries for 93 yards and 2 scores. Deshaun Kenyon went absolutely nuclear, going 14,438 for 9 touchdowns. That's an 111.8 fantasy game if you are counting. Wow, I tell you what, I wish I'd have had him on my fantasy team this weekend. Not everyone's favorite. There's 2 syrup bottles going out. Both Jarius Homer and Carter Lowe had 9 pancakes. Those big boys are eating tonight. Defense forced 5 turnovers. Dijon had 2. Gatto had 1. Ships had 1. And freshman 5-star Blanco had his first career pick. It was a big recruiting week as well. We had 3 high-profile recruits in for the homecoming game. 4-star athlete Balin Hatch, 5-star athlete Mike Tashawn Mechie. Or, I'm sorry, 5-star. Come on, Flathead. Why don't you read the script before you start the show? Anyhow, 5-star middle linebacker Tashawn Mechie. 5-star cornerback Juan Poole. Our matchup next week will be with BYU. We'll also feature some high-profile recruits. It is also my pleasure to announce that we will be wearing our throwback jerseys next week. Bye week AMA seemed to have went well, so we will be doing it every bye week from here on out. And as always, country roads, buddy. So now we got head coach Shermer from his Honey Bear Bowl, the first ever Honey Bear Bowl. He's starting some new traditions to create some funding and stuff for there. And I donated 1,000 bobbleheads to Coach Shermer's cause, and now I feel even worse about not getting one to head coach Elijah Deuce. Coach Shermer's post-game availability after the first Honey Bear Bowl victory over BYU 42-9. Howdy, y'all. Feels good to go out there and perform at the level we did today. To pick up the victory in bold fashion gives everyone a glance into what we're trying to build here in Waco. Hats off to BYU. We thank them for their competition. James Hearns had his best night of the year. In terms of efficiency, he went 88% in the completion front. He was 24-27 for 287 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's conducive to winning football. Our hometown hero, the Duckinator, Trevonte Mallard, he had himself a day and earned the first Honey Bowl game ball with 33 carries and 215 yards, 4 touchdowns, adding 34 yards receiving. The Flathead Willie bobbleheads were successful and the fans loved them. So happy we could turn out this event into a success in front of the Baylor faithful. We look forward to hosting SMU next week as we will continue to build a good sound football together. We're only as good as our next one. Head Coach Shermer. Go Bears. So, that is all of our post-game press conferences from the last few games. We did get some breaking news in today. Athletic Director Carter Ryder Mock announces West Virginia University and Kentucky will play a home-and-home series starting next season, dubbed the Hatfield and McCoys. Now, before we get into the stats and the Natty and the Heisman and all that, we got to talk about Arkansas State. Arkansas State, the NCAA has rallied today and levied down, or had finished up their meetings today, not rallied, finished up everything that they have been dealing with and levied their decision today for Arkansas State. Head coach Shark Davis will be suspended from coaching college football for the next 5 years. Senior advisor Bayou Bill is suspended from coaching for the next 3 years. And Arkansas State is disqualified from playoff contention for the next 5 years. So that is the decision from the NCAA. So the next 5 seasons, Arkansas State's disqualified from playoff contention. Trevor Hatchett did come back from injury. It turned out not to be as bad. Not sure if he just wanted out of that situation with the coaching staff. Not sure what's going on, but he is hobbled, and I believe he only had about 5 rushing yards in the game against Baylor, when Baylor won 50 something to 10. All right, now that's out, can you believe it? West Virginia, Arkansas State. Now that means they did not. The NCAA did not make them vacate their national championship win. Because as it stands, it sounds like a lot of this stuff happened afterwards. So, the national championship stands, but they have to now levy down and suffer the penalty of 5 years of no playoff contention. Shark Davis can't even look at the coaching carousel for 5 years. And we heard Bayou Bill, he might as well keep his lookers pasted somewhere else. Keep an eyeball pasted, a looker peeled somewhere else, because at least for the next 3 seasons, he can forget about any coaching tenure in college football. Moving on to the Heisman Watch. Heisman Watch halfback Devon LaFleur, halfback number 25, Stanford Cardinal. Second on that list, Julian Lewis, quarterback number 8, West Virginia Mountaineer. Wide receiver, Jashawn Kenyon, third, West Virginia Mountaineer. Halfback, Trevonte, the Duckinator Mallard, number 23, Baylor Bears. Quarterback, Deuce Knight, number 8, Ole Miss. So, that's the Heisman Watch for this week. The top 25. Let's see. Baylor is not ranked and may not be ranked due to the fact that Coach Marty Shermer got in there just a week too late and got up against the buzzsaw at the time, Ole Miss, who now has 3 losses. We got 1, 2 undefeated, 3 undefeated top 25 teams, and those are Stanford, Oregon, and Missouri. Number 3, Missouri. Number 5, Oregon. And number 13, Stanford. Of course, number 1, West Virginia Mountaineers. 99, 99, 99. As you see there, they are undefeated in 2029. So we've got the top 25. We've got the Heisman Watch. We got to cover season stats for the nation. There we go. Season stats for the nation. Let's look at the tops. Julian Lewis, quarterback, West Virginia Mountaineer. He's got 229 completions on 286 attempts, rocking an 80% completion percentage. That is incredible. On almost 300 passes, to 80% of them have landed where they belong, safely in the receiver's hands. 4,003 yards, 49 touchdowns, 17.1% of the time. It's a tutty. Only 3 interceptions for the young man. Looking down the list here for the next one on here that we cover. The Stanford Cardinal quarterback, Alejandro Dolagala, has 188 completions on 241 attempts, 74% completion percentage, 2,303 yards, 23 touchdowns with a 9.5 TD percentage. Only 3 interceptions for that young man. James Hearns, 2 spots behind the Stanford Cardinal quarterback, has 178 completions on 244 attempts with a 72% completion percentage, 22,292 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7.4 completion or touchdown percentage. He has 3 interceptions. Rushing, Devin LaFleur, 234 carries, 1,530 yards, 6.5 per with 22 touchdowns. Trevonte Mallard has 199 carries, 1,343 yards, 6.7 average with 21 touchdowns. And moving on down here to the first West Virginia player that we see. He is Isaac Clemon, halfback, 78 carries, 627 yards, 10 touchdowns. Receiving, we have Deshaun Kenyon as your nation's leading receiver with 68 receptions, 1,660 yards, 22 touchdowns, with an average per game of 207.5. His yards after catch are 635. Mike Ellington is third on this list, also a Mountaineer with 1,062 yards and 7 touchdowns. Devin LaFleur, halfback, Stanford on this list on down, 672 yards and 12 touchdowns. Oh boy. It's a ways down here for Mr. Baylor, I believe. Unless I missed him. Oh my. I don't see anybody. Anybody see a BU there? We're going down, down, baby. Does Baylor even play for that college football anymore? Or does Marty Shermer not have a job? Wow, how about we do this? This will be quicker. We want to check on Baylor's receiving stats. Okay, that's why. They spread it around a little bit. He's got 37 reception, 411 yards for Byron Green is their leading receiver. As you can see there, though, they do spread it around. We got 25, 21, 25, 26 receptions, all sitting at about 300 yards or better. 2, 4, 2, and 7 touchdowns, respectively. Down the list for Green go to Ogbonna and Mallard. That's pretty well it for tonight in this episode of the Offside Zone. I'm your man, Flathead Willie, and I'm out.